EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchich here with your outlook for February 1st, 2022. It is a new month and same old story. We're going to be starting off colder than average today and maybe a few days mixed in there of some slightly milder than average temperatures, but we're back into the cold again late week and the weekend. And we will have a couple wintry threats this week to discuss. So let's start off with today. Sunny to start, mostly sunny to start. Then we're going to have some partly cloudy skies later in the day, and then we're expecting mostly cloudy skies overnight. Really not much shown here on these maps, and that's because there's no organized precipitation overnight. However, there is the opportunity for some freezing fog. We talked about this in yesterday's video. Freezing fog is fog at the ground level because you have warmer air aloft and then cold air at the surface that forms the fog. Problem is the temperature's below freezing, and you have those super cold water droplets that are in the cloud or the fog. So you get that kind of misty stuff, and then that falls down to the ground and freezes on contact, and you get on all surfaces, and you get freezing. You get rime is what it's called. R-I-M-E is what forms it. It's a different process, so it's not freezing rain. Even though if you take a look at a sounding, this is what it looks like on a sounding, and this area, which is right in here, right that I'm pointing to, is complete saturation below 1,000 feet. So that is your area where the fog would form, because the air above it, if you look at the air just above that, this is all above what it is at the surface. So the temperature at the surface at this particular location is showing 27 degrees. You see the temperature move up a little bit as you go up in elevation once you get up to about 5,000 feet or thereabouts. So underneath of that inversion layer is where the fog forms, and because the temperatures are what it is, you have some freezing drizzle. Now this particular sounding is showing, if you look down here, it's saying best guess precipitation type is freezing rain and drizzle. It's cut off there, but it's freezing rain and drizzle what it's indicating because of this right in here. So we are expecting the patchy freezing fog overnight, and just to be careful if you're out overnight or and again on Wednesday morning. I'm not sure if it's going to cause a school delay in your area. It's going to depend on what happens overnight. Not everywhere is going to get this freezing fog, but most areas will at least have that opportunity overnight tonight for that. This is not even one of the you can make this one of the three, I guess, chances this week for wintry precipitation. This is the first, okay? And then once we get into Wednesday, it warms up. There's not going to be any issues after early morning. So there may be some delays in some areas for school as we get into Wednesday. Going back to the GFS now. I'm using the GFS on purpose here because it is the most aggressive model and most progressive with the cold air coming in to coincide with this boundary. Okay, so this boundary is moving toward us. We have area low pressure moving along that boundary. A big snow event for places like Indianapolis all the way up to Detroit and into southeastern Canada, Toronto, Montreal, places like that. And then it's going to eventually work its way eastward. There's a very strong high that is going to be situated off to the north here that's building. It's over 1,040 millibars. And you have another high that's sitting out here. Okay, and this one here is stronger than this one. Okay, so because of that, it's pushing this boundary a little more progressively further southeast, and it's all because of this high right here. This is the key to it. So how strong that boundary, or how strong that high pressure is going to dictate how far south the cold air advection gets. And I do think the cold air advection is going to come in, but does it come in time to change areas further, more inclusive of our region in this changeover? So that's the big question. The GFS is very aggressive with this, has some icing here because you do have some overrunning moving up against the boundary until it fully moves through. So you have some freezing rain, then you have some sleet, then you have some snow for the northwest. This could turn into a decent snow event if you're up by I-80. If you're somewhere between Williamsport and, say, the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area, northern Poconos especially, you'll have the opportunity for several inches of snow after starting off as rain initially, and then going to sleet, or freezing rain and then sleet, and then snow. You get several inches, maybe a 3 to 6 inch snowfall up in those areas. That's not out of the question. Maybe even more than that in some places. The farther north you go toward the Pennsylvania-New York border. Well, look how far south it gets this freezing rain and sleet. You got a big sleet fest going over east central Pennsylvania along I-78, and then you have freezing rain further south as you get down towards Philadelphia, South Jersey, northern Delaware, and parts of Maryland. And this boundary just keeps going further south, okay? And you even get some snow on the back end all the way, according to the GFS 20, to Philadelphia. Okay, I will tell you I've been doing this a long time. Not saying this is completely wrong, but I don't think this is going to happen. Not to this aggressive of a manner. Now, if you're up by I-80, ignore what I just said, because I think I-80 and areas north will have a good shot at accumulating snow and some ice out of this, okay? Perhaps significant icing, perhaps significant snow. Further south, when you get to I-78 and point south, I don't see anything significant there. You will have some changeover, I think, at the tail end, to some sleet, maybe some freezing rain mixed in there, and then maybe brief snow, and then it ends, okay? You get down to I-95, I don't think so, except for maybe some sleet pellets moving in at the end. So I think the GFS is way too aggressive with this in its depiction. It's a very difficult forecast because GFS is kind of on an island with this. The European model is consistently warmer, showing that they're just coming in as rain, and then it does go over to freezing rain and then snow a little more briefly. It does get a couple inches of snow up here in the far northern areas that I mentioned, right? But further south and east, there's really nothing going on. Okay, it just moves away and that's it. And then you get the cold air rushing in afterwards. So the precipitation exits before it can make it all the way through with a cold air advection in our southeastern area. So, and I'd say south of I-78 is probably a good cutoff. The new NAM that came in this evening doing the same thing European model is doing, has rain to start here during the day on Thursday, then overnight. Here's that area low pressure. It's an elongated area low pressure along this boundary. And then you do have cold air advection coming in, but this boundary is now moving up in north and east of the region. So this boundary at this point, this elongated low is sitting like this. There's your elongated low and is moving off in this direction. So there's not going to be much precipitation left once the cold air advection swings through, at least according to the NAM here. So there's really not a lot of support for the GFS being that aggressive. And it has a tendency in these types of situations to advect cold air a little bit too fast, and that's because of its progressive nature of the model. So, and one other thing is the GFS ensemble, which is its own ensemble members, 30 of them blended together, and you can see the general idea here. Now, this is counting sleet and snow together as one, but the general idea here in this situation is to keep the snow areas up here, which will start as ice, by the way. You'll have rain and then going to ice. This is your area that is the best chance to get that snow. That would include the Poconos, okay? If you get further south here, it's showing it along I-78 here, but this is counting sleet too, so I wouldn't expect too much in the way of snow. It could be some, but you're going to have very minor amounts compared to what I have circled up further north, and that is from the GFS ensemble, which it's the same model run an additional 50 times with the same initial conditions and different preset algorithms. So it's giving you a general idea of what to expect, and it's suggesting that the operational run of the GFS is very aggressive. And it's probably not going to be that far south. So if you're down here in Philadelphia, central New Jersey, places like Harrisburg, Lancaster, South Jersey, Delaware, even northern Maryland here, I wouldn't expect too much of a winter component of this except at the tail end, and it might just be more brief, some icing over to sleet, and then brief snow, and that's it. Okay, so we'll continue to follow this throughout the week. It does not look like it's going to be a major event unless you're up by I-80 in northeast PA from Williamsport over to the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area. Again, we're going to watch that throughout the week, though, and see what happens. After that, this weekend is mostly sunny, both Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures below average both days. We're going to be very cold and stuck in the 20s on Saturday, and then we'll get back to near freezing here on Sunday. Now, this next system, this is the next one in our 7-day forecast window, and this is an opportunity for more snow, and this is with a system that's kind of aided by the southeast ridge a little bit, and the temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer, a little bit more marginal with this one coming in from the south. So it's it's a weaker coastal low here, so you could get several inches of snow in the interior from this if this does in fact take this kind of track. And the European model is doing the same thing. This is what it's showing today, just a little bit further east with it. You get more snow out of it for generally the same areas that got hit with snow last time, just not as impressive this time because it's faster moving and a weaker low. So this is one of our storm signals we have listed in the long-range outlook from last week. Our storm signals this month, in the month of January, are 3 for 3. All 3 identified early, before any models had it. All 3 hit, 2 of them in record fashion, especially for southeastern areas and the coastal regions, which in some cases produced, for Atlantic City, and then in their case, you're about double what an entire winter normally produces in just this month from 2 of those 3 storm signals. So this is just a storm signal. We're keeping it as a storm signal right now, but we're going to continue to monitor this one too. But I think we have enough of our hands full with this one here and weather boundary sets up and how much frozen precipitation is in this equation. If you're in those far northern areas, you have a much better chance. The one areas I mentioned, nearest I-80, Poconos, northwest New Jersey is also included in that. When you get further south, that's when it becomes a little bit more tricky here. So we're going to continue to follow trends. If one of these warmer signing models, one of the models are suggesting a little bit warmer, holding on later, until they start to blink, I really can't side with the GFS just yet. But we'll see. We're going to continue to track these trends throughout the week, and we'll let you know each day. That's why we do the videos every day. We'll let you know what the trends are each day and see where we are after each day, and I'll update the next daily forecast video each morning. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchus. That is your outlook for February 1st, 2022. Have a great Tuesday.